Hello and welcome back to Literally Heinous. I'm here for a 2 month update of New York, and I'm not going to apologize because I'm trying to work on how much I apologize and like trying to do that less. But I know that there's been some like, it's been kind of sporadic, my episode updates. So I'm going to get better. Things have been so crazy, but now things are finally settling down. So it's been 8 weeks since I've been here in New York, and I just wanted to like now that I have like my feet on the ground a little bit. The last solo episode I did, I was there for like I had been here for 2 weeks. And in the last like 2 months, I've just been really focusing on like getting situated in my apartment and not like I don't know, not like forcing myself to be really social or go out and do things. And I think that like that's what, okay, moving in the winter is like low key the best. I had always been on a summer moving timeline, and I really think that moving during the winter has been really nice because there's been like no pressure to do anything, like meet people, like go outside, like do any sort of like activities because like everything's just kind of dead anyways. Okay, first of all, I need to address the thing behind me. Okay, so it's like this sticky wall decal, and okay, we just like Jack and I haven't put it up yet. And it's gonna be a lot lower because it's actually like an arch, and we did one in the living room, and it looked really good, but it like almost like ruined our relationship because it was so hard to do, and it took like 2 hours, and it was really stressful. And then like when this one came in, we were like, we just can't even like focus on it right now. So it looks weird right now, but it's gonna look better. In terms of furnishing the apartment, everything's like pretty much good, like in a really good place. There's a couple like odds and ends that I need to like finish, but the only thing that's lacking is this room, my room, because I've been putting so much effort into the living room and the bedroom that I have been neglecting this room. Um, I have this thing anytime that I move into a new apartment, new house, whatever. It's actually my first time living in an apartment. I've never lived in an apartment before. I've only lived in houses. But like I get to like a 2 month point. It's specifically, or it's like 3 months in. Like once I am living somewhere for 3 months, the place is done being finished. It's like no matter what I need, like it's never gonna get done because I just get so because it doesn't feel new anymore and I just like get so lazy. So that's why I've been really like wanting to get everything done now I like before I get to my point where I don't want to furnish. Um, Last weekend, I Ubered to Home Goods, which is like kind of crazy. So I knew that like, because I was at the point in the apartment where like we had every like surface that we needed, every furniture item, like everything that we needed, but there was still just a little holes, like just still some like holes like in the decor or like with wall stuff, just like some empty spaces. And because we have this like shelf, like this tall like etagere, I don't know, sorry. And we have like our alcohol on that and then like coffee table books, but it just looked really empty. And I just needed like some tchotchkes to like fill it up with. So while Jack was watching a football game, I Ubered 20 minutes to a Home Goods in Queens, and it like cured everything. So I was there for like 2 hours. It was like the best Home Goods I've ever been to. I did 2 laps around the entire store, and I just like got like all the little things that like I just like needed. Like I got some throw pillows for here, and then they also just have like good like juices and like syrups and like random things like that that we needed for like drinks. So that was good. That is something like definitely the worst part about being in New York, or like the hardest part is that like sometimes all you need is to just like get in your car and like go to Target or go to Home Goods and just like knock everything out, like run every errand and just like fill up your car and then load it and bring it back. And you just like cannot do that here. And what I talked about like on the last episode is that I was struggling with like, because I really don't like ordering stuff online too much. Like it makes me feel really consumptuous, like over consumptive. I don't know if that's a word. Or just like I don't want to rely on like Daddy Bezos for everything. And then Facebook Marketplace is hard. Like Facebook Marketplace is just kind of a bitch because if it's not within like 1 mile radius of you where it's like easy to get, it's like it forces you to think like, well, how bad do you really want it? Like, do you like this dresser enough to go to this person's house, however far it is, and then like get an Uber and like load it into an Uber? Like, will it even fit in an Uber? Do you like it enough to try to carry something on the train back with you? And maybe I would feel different if it was the summer, but like for me, if I wanted to get something, I'd have to wait till after work. And then after work, it'd be dark. And like, I didn't want to go to someone's house like alone in the dark. And so I've not been Facebook marketplacing much at all. And I just needed like, just like stuff, just like a little more things. So I did Uber to Home Goods and I have no regrets. I will not be disclosing how much I spent though. Okay, what else? So in hindsight, there's a couple things that I am now like regretting about my move. The amount of like purging of my stuff that I did before I moved was like absurd. And it's because every time I move to a new house, which has been every year of my life, which is so embarrassing, I'm sorry. Um, I always like, I'm gonna like get rid of the stuff that I don't need. And then I always end up like having like never needing it or never wanting it and being like, oh, I still have this thing. Like I'm never good enough at like throwing stuff out. And like I said when I moved to New York, I was like, I'm gonna get rid of like everything that I don't absolutely love. If I don't love it, it's not coming. And I like got rid of so much stuff. Like once we got to the point in our apartment where we were just filling in spaces, like filling in like dresser space, bookshelf space, or just like those little like decor items like prints, decoration stuff. I was like, where the fuck is everything? Like I threw away so much stuff and there was all stuff that like I liked but didn't like love. And I'm just like, why would I throw that out if I didn't hate it? And like so we're still kind of like dealing with like, oh my God, I like wish that I didn't throw away all that stuff. But other than that, it's been really good. Okay. Other things that I've realized, I've been taking the train a lot more because the last time we talked, I had only been here for 2 weeks and like hadn't really, I'd only taken it by myself like once. So I have taken it by myself a lot. The train is really good. So been here 2 months. There's been like two instances where like a train was down or like just something like happened. Nothing like bad, but just like delays or whatever. So like overall, I would say generally like the train, because the two lines that like I'm closest to have always been like reliable, on time. There was an instance like last weekend, Jack and I were meeting up with friends to go to dinner, and so we were taking the one train, the L, to Bedford, which is this one stop that's in Williamsburg, and like everywhere we've been getting dinner or like meeting people has been like off the Bedford L stop. Because it's a really like central area. I think that like with moving to New York, having friends in different parts of the city, you just have to find the neighborhood that's like not necessarily in the middle of you guys, but that's easy for everyone to access. So like we're meeting up, we do a lot of like Bedford, Williamsburg stuff because we have a friend that's like on the Upper East Side kind of. We have friends that are like South Brooklyn and Park Slope, and then we're a little more East Brooklyn and Bushwick. And so like everyone can like centrally get to like this Bedford L stop because there's a lot of trains that meet there. So we were going to the Bedford L, and then we're at the stop right before Bedford, and we hear the conductor. And this is why it's important. You don't like want to be like too deep in the zone because you do actually have to listen to the conductor. Conductor says the next stop will be Union Square, which is like in Manhattan. Like skipping all the next stops will be in Union. And I'm so like such a product of my generation that if a piece of information doesn't come in the form of like technology, I like won't listen to it. And so like the conductor says that and I'm like, what does he know? And because I'm like, that's crazy. And then Jack is like, no, like we should get off. Like why would he lie? Like the next stop is Union Hall or Union Station. So we get off, and then our friend Michael he was on that same train, but his stop is like a little farther than ours. So like we knew we were on the same train, but not in the same car. And we get off, and I knew Michael was like somewhere on that train. And I said to Jack, I'm like, he didn't get off. Like there's no way he got off. Like he wouldn't, like he probably had headphones in. Like I barely got off. And then so we like get off and then the train leaves. And then we get a text from Michael, like, oh my God, the train just skipped Bedford. And I was like, what'd I tell you? So then Michael, he has to ride all the way up to like Union Station and then circle back around. And then we were at this train station waiting for the next L. And then that was when we were like kind of rolling the dice because we were at the stop that was right before Bedford. Though like and so we were like, okay, well, we could walk because the train stops aren't that far apart from one another. It'd probably be like a 20-minute walk. Or do we wait like 10 minutes until the next L comes? But what if the next L is also skipping Bedford? So it was a little bit of a will they, won't they? We ended up waiting for the next train, and that was good because the next train stopped at Bedford, and then we ended up being like 45 minutes late to dinner. And then Michael, like, he had to go all the way to like where the train was going and then turn back around and come back. So and even then, that wasn't like bad. It was more so just like annoying and like cost of doing business a little bit. Like we were going to this restaurant in Williamsburg. We didn't even have reservations. Okay. Anyone that tells you like, oh, you can never go out in New York, like you need a reservation everywhere is lying. Like I have made in the 2 months that I've been here, I think that I've made one dinner reservation. Like the whole time I've been here. And we were going to like a cool restaurant, like not just like a dive bar. We were going to like this really cool restaurant called Birds of a Feather. It's actually so good. And our friend got there before us and like put our name in because we are gonna meet at like 8:30, and then the host like had to give up our table because we were 45 minutes late, and we ended up like getting seated like eventually. So it was fine, basically. Okay, traveling. So I have left New York twice since being here. I always thought so the two times that I'd been to New York before this, like I took the train like to and from the airport both times. And it's like an hour to an hour and a half long endeavor. And it costs like $11 because the air tram is like $8 or 9. And then the obviously subway is like $2.90. Okay, both times. So all four airport ventures, like to and from for both trips, I have Ubered. Sorry. And then I kind of realized that's like the vibe here. So Ubering to and from the airport is really not that bad. The first one when Jack and I went skiing, we had to fly to Newark. Oof, that was like $100 each way. That like kind of sucked. Because Newark is like really far. It was in New Jersey, so we had to do that. But then the next time I was flying in and out of LaGuardia, and then both the Ubers like to and from there were like $40 each, which really wasn't that bad. So I definitely think that Ubering is the move. I am only like 25 minutes from LaGuardia, which is pretty nice. And that is definitely my airport of choice because that's also the Delta hub. And I love Delta. One more thing on the trains. I don't know why this is, but for some reason the trains are so much nicer in Brooklyn, or maybe like just on my parts of town, but like I always just think that like everything is so much like nicer and better in Manhattan because like it's Manhattan, it's more expensive, but like the two trains that I normally take, which are the L and the M, like those trains are like really nice, like high, like the technology is like an LED board and it will show you like the signs. Then the few trains that I've taken within Manhattan, like the ones that go up and down Manhattan, so like outdated, like gross. They're like the orange ones. And I'm like, ooh, get me out of here. And then just something about the Manhattan stations are just like dirtier and like more crowded and like sketchier. And I just like, oh, do not like them. But my train stations have been wonderful. And my trains every time have been really, really good. Okay, more like day-to-day stuff about living in New York because people ask me this. I didn't say it was interesting, but okay, laundry. So we don't have laundry in our building. So it's like laundromat vibes. And I okay, the first month that I lived here, the first two laundry loads I did wash and fold. And it is definitely a luxury. Like it is a special treat. So the laundry place near me that I did wash and fold at, like both loads for like, a week and a half worth of laundry. I don't know if that's like a shockingly long time, but I don't know. Because like, I don't know. It's definitely made me like now that I like don't have a washing machine, it's made me like really consider like wearing certain clothes. Like if I know like I have to wash that after I wear it, or like kind of being a little too lenient on not washing clothes, like jeans, like, but then it's also like the same thing. Like I also like I don't want to track Subway into the house. So like if I'm wear a pair of jeans and I was like subwaying a lot that day, like I want to wash them because like they have Subway all over them. But then at the same time, like, okay, like now I'm not gonna have those jeans for the next like week and a half. So it's definitely been like a catch 22. So I did wash and fold. Both loads were like around $10. It's like $1 a pound. And the wash and fold place is so nice. And you like drop off your laundry and then they wash it for you, fold it, and then you come back 24 hours and you pick it up. And oh, it's so nice. Like everything is folded so perfectly, and they like organize your clothes. Like they put all the pants together, like all the shirts together. Like the way that they like fold up my underwear was like so cute, and it feels like illegal. I'm like, I don't know, like at first I was like, what's the protocol? Like what is laundromat etiquette? Like am I allowed to give them like my unmentionables? But then I don't know, like asked people, and I was like, obviously, I mean, what else would I do? Like use the laundromat. So I did that twice and it was great. But I mean, yeah, it's like $10 a time. So, and it was even more than that because we were also washing like sheets and towels. Um, so then the most two recent times I've done laundry, I did use the laundromat because I did wash and fold the first month that I was here because I was just giving myself a lot of grace and letting myself like, like don't like take it easy. Like it's okay. So before the laundromat, using the laundromat, I was really nervous. So I watched a YouTube video on like how to use a laundromat because the machines are like industrial grade, and like how do I pay for it? Like what settings do I do? And like the last thing I want is to like roll into the laundromat being like, how do I use that? And like asking for help is just so embarrassing. So I watched two YouTube videos. You would be alarmed like how many people were in the comments like right there with me being like, I wanted to know how to do it before I went. Because like laundromats, like they mean business. Like people are there, no dilly dallying, no chit chatting, like no, how's it going? Like, how are you? It is like serious business. And I didn't want to come unprepared. So thankfully, Jack did it first. And like he went to the laundromat first, like figured it out, like ironed out all the kinks, and then reported back to me and like told me how to do it. So basically, this one laundromat, and Jack already did all this, thank God. You go and you buy like a laundry card, like this little plastic thing that you can like refill with money. And then there's a machine there where you can like you insert your card and then you just add more money onto it. Like I don't know, like a arcade. I think they have those there. So Jack had already done that. So now we just have one laundry card between the two of us and we can refill it, which is great because I was so nervous it was going to be like coin operated laundry. And when I lived at one of my dad's apartments, there was coin operated laundry. And I was like, Dad, like seriously, like throw me a bone. Like, and then eventually I formed a union and he made it free, which was so nice. So thank you, Dad. So I've done the laundromat twice and it's nice. It's definitely like the wash cycle takes like 20 minutes and is, I think, maybe $1. And then the dry cycle is like 60 cents per 7 minutes. So you kind of have to like keep reloading it. And it took me a long time to like figure out how to like, because I would have to wait for the 7 minutes and then like go again and then wait again. The drying sucks. Like that, like kind of sucks. And all in all, it's like a 40-minute endeavor between like washing. So you wait 20 minutes for the wash. And then the drying cycle was honestly, because drying, no one talks about how long drying takes. Like, and that was probably another 30 minutes. So yeah, it's like kind of an hour. And I brought headphones, I listened to podcasts. It goes by pretty quickly. I haven't, like, work has been so crazy that I haven't even been able to like go to the laundromat during the workday. And I'm not going to go over the weekend. Like, that's crazy. So I definitely let my laundry build up, and that was hard because I was running out of all my favorite clothes. So I was able to sneak out of work at like on a Friday afternoon and just get laundry done. So hopefully, and then like once it's dark, I don't want to like walk to the laundromat and like carrying my laundry. And I have some trauma. When I was in third grade, It was a Friday afternoon, and I was going to have a sleepover at my friend's house, and I had my sleepover bag with me. It was just like this little tote, and I was walking to the bus, and this one girl, I won't name her, she like flags me down. She's like, "Lily, you forgot your underwear." And I look in my bag and realize like my underwear that was on top of like my sleepover clothes like fell out. And I was like, I'm just gonna pretend I don't hear and just like take the L. And because like the last thing I want was to like turn around and like do like an underwear handoff like in front of the fifth graders. So she like flags me down, like waving my underwear in the air. And she's like, "Lily, your underwear, your underwear." And then I like eventually she catches up to me and I'm like, "Thanks." It was really embarrassing. So now like I am stressed about like, and I hadn't thought about that in years. But like when I was walking to the laundromat a few days ago, I was like, "Where's my underwear?" Like, how humiliating would that be if like my underwear dropped out of my bag, like while I was walking to the laundromat? So I'm nervous about that. And then I literally look like a Sherpa because I have like three bags of laundry. Because I don't have, this is another thing that I purged that, like, why the fuck did I do that? I don't have like a mesh laundry bag anymore. I have like a laundry basket. But you can't like walk around this in New York like that with a laundry basket. Like, no. And I've seen people with like mesh laundry bags and like mesh laundry backpacks. And I really need that. But all I have right now to tote my laundry around is those like reusable like grocery bags. So I've just been using those and like stuffing my laundry to the top and just like praying like a rogue underwear like doesn't go loose. So that's the laundry situation. We'll see. Honestly, I could very much see a future in which I just don't want to spare an hour every week and a half at the laundromat, and maybe I'll just go back to wash and fold. I don't know. Groceries, I would say that grocery was like the number one thing that I was nervous about with moving to New York. Like, because you can't get into your car and like pile up all your groceries and drive home. But I am not like a grocery shopping gal. Like, at most, I would fill up maybe like two reusable grocery bags. So we've done Instacart twice, and we're gonna keep doing Instacart as like a once a month or like once every 6 weeks, like fill up on the big stuff because I have like the grocery items that I just like that are big and bulky and that I don't need all the time. So we've been doing Instacart, and we have some deal on our credit card that gives us like free delivery or something, and it's not as like luxurious as it sounds. Because now I feel like I'm like I can't do Instacart and wash and fold. Like who do I think I am? Like Blair Waldorf. But Instacart has been pretty like for all the regular stuff that we would get at groceries, the stuff that we just like to have around, like pantry items. Our total was like $80, which I feel like is pretty standard for when you're doing a big grocery haul. And the rest, like you can just kind of like fill in as needed. We have like three grocery stores within like 2 blocks of us. And a lot of living here, and I think this goes for a lot of things, like including groceries, is just finding what stores to like buy what you want. Like certain stores will carry like certain things. So it's just like getting really acclimated with like where you live and like remembering like, okay, this store has a good price on this. So like I like sourdough from this one like bakery thing nearby, but like I could get it for so much cheaper at this other place. And it's just kind of like, I don't know. I feel like grocery shopping is you kind of just get it as you need it. And then we have this like fruit stand, this little fruit market near us that's incredible. And they have like really good prices on avocados. So like even if I'm grocery shopping somewhere else, I won't get avocados there because I could just get it cheaper at the place near me. So it's a lot of like being intentional and like putting a lot more like thought. I think that's like kind of how it is in New York in general, is that like everything, if you're running errands or just to even like exist, like everything has to be like kind of methodical and like thought out because places are like far from each other and you're gonna have to take the train. And then if you have to run one errand in like a certain part of town, like think about like what else you can do in that area. Like if I'm going to the dentist somewhere where there's a Trader Joe's, and I can be like, okay, well I can get my Trader Joe's stuff there since I'll already be in the area. Yes, I do have a lot of like personal admin I need to do. I need to find a dentist, which is scary and hard. And I don't know how I'm gonna do that. But other than that, like everything is you just kind of like take it as you go. It hasn't been too hard. Like I envisioned myself like lugging groceries home. It has not been like that at all. It's so easy. It's easy with two people. I do think that like my um I don't know, my experience in moving to New York is definitely like better than those that moved like completely alone or that are like living with strangers or that are living alone. Like moving with a boyfriend and like living with a boyfriend has made just like takes a lot of the like mental load off of me. And like I've done my time like being like living by or not living by myself, but like living with roommates. And like when you live with roommates and like Jack and I were long distance for so long, like you just have to like do everything yourself and like no one is really watching out for you and like no one's really gonna like help you with like what you need. So it's been nice to like share the burden. I'm now at a point where like I feel like I'm coming out of hibernation from moving because I really wanted to be intentional about giving myself enough time to feel to like get adjusted and get acclimated before I made any effort to like make any friends or text anyone. So now that I've been here for 2 months, I'm definitely feeling like the loneliness is catching up to me almost. And it kind of came up when Jack kind of started having plans with like his friends and like ski trips. And then me realizing like, okay, I really need to like make an effort to see people. And I am not one of, I don't like rely on Jack for all my social plans, but like we've been like pretty much attached at the hip like since we've moved here because like obviously we live together and neither of us have really like we've just like it's been winter, it's been the holidays, people like aren't really doing anything. So like we've been doing everything together and we text people and hang out with other people together. But then now that we're getting situated, he's been like hanging out with some of his friends and I've had to kind of like really start thinking about branching out and making my own friends, which has been really scary. Um and I am trying to like give myself a lot of grace and I like have been for the most part. Like since I've been here, I have not felt like guilty or bad about myself for not reaching out to anybody, just because I know it like takes me a long time to get settled. But then this weekend was kind of when I realized I was like, oh my God, like I really need to start building a community and making friends here. So I'm now open for business for anyone that wants to hang out. I will be taking some comedy classes, like maybe an improv class, because it's just a good way to meet a group of people. So yeah, I'm excited to do that. And then hopefully like I'll start getting a little bit more acclimated and meeting more people. So by the time summer rolls around and people are like really out and about, then I will have more friends. And I've been loving New York so far. Like truly, like we've been so happy. And it's so interesting hearing other people talk about New York, like, oh, it's the worst time of year, like it's so depressing, like nobody's out. And I'm like, really? Like we've been having so much fun. And I find like there's so much energy and so much livelihood. So I'm really excited for summer to see like how busy things are. Okay, transitioning into some pop culture stuff. Okay, I want to talk about Ariana Grande. So she's coming. So her seventh album is on her way, and the first single came out, I think like 2 weeks ago, called Yes um, and it's definitely an interesting time to be an Ariana fan. It's definitely like very hot waters. So I just want to like go on the record and say like my standhood for Ariana Grande has not wavered at all. So basically, what her, issue is right now is that when she was filming Wicked over the summer, so the movie adaptation of the musical, she's playing Glinda, who's like the um Pink Witch, I don't know. And she kind of started like a fling with this guy named Ethan Slater, who I don't even know his character's name. I saw Wicked once when I was in like fifth grade, but I don't remember it. He's like a Broadway guy. He also like played SpongeBob on Broadway. So everyone calls him SpongeBob. So Ariana was married and like all this summer like things came out that like she and her husband are getting a divorce and that she's like now an item with this guy Ethan. So Ethan, how do I put this delicately, is not really a looker. Um, and I love ugly guys. If you know me, like I love like the Pete Davidson type, like pale, like kind of like gangly, like awkward looking, not like Jack, but like that. I understand the allure with those types of men. Ethan, I don't know like where he falls into like any bucket. I mean, maybe he's like really funny. I don't know. But the thing is that like Ethan is married, or he was married at the time, and he has a 1 year old baby with this woman named Lily, ironically. And they were married for 10 years. Like they were high school sweethearts. So then it comes out that like he and his wife are getting divorced. And now like he and Ariana are like hardcore together. And they've like been together since the summer. So then everyone is like attacking Ariana and just saying like how she's a homewrecker. And then some reports came out that like she was friends with the couple and even like held the baby at a certain point. And basically people then started digging up like her past relationships and like doing some timeline checks, and there were some other instances, like for example when she dated Big Sean, Naya Rivera, may her memory be a blessing, wrote in her memoir alluding to like, because she was dating, or I think she was engaged to Big Sean, and like comes home one day and like Ariana Grande is like sitting on the couch. There was that, and then there was like the Pete Davidson and like Cassie David, because before Ariana Grande, Pete was dating Larry David's daughter, Cassie. And so that kind of got brought back up. And then there might have been something too with Mac, where like Mac had Mac Miller, may his memory be a blessing. He like had some ex-girlfriend somewhere. But anyways, people just started kind of like just bringing back old things and like piecing together like interviews and like, and then, you know, she has that song on Thank You Next called Break Up With Your Girlfriend, I'm Bored. So it's just like the writing's on the wall a little bit, where there's smoke, there's fire. And the fallout has been really interesting. Like as a diehard Ariana stan, I would say that this is her biggest scandal that she's pretty much ever been in. There was when she licked the donut in like 2015, but like whatever. And yeah, like I would definitely say like this is probably the biggest hit to her reputation, because people are taking this extremely seriously. And it doesn't help that even before this, like before all the Ethan stuff, her reputation, or like she was just looking really bad. Like she dyed her hair blonde for Wicked. And she's been blonde before, but she's been like platinum blonde, or the kind of blonde where it's like it looks like it's dyed. So I don't know, dark roots, but like blonde, so it like looked better. But she's lost a ton of weight, which like she never needed to, but she's just looking like completely washed out, like this blonde hair, like towhead blonde, and just looking like gaunt. And people were already like asking me about that, like what's up with her. And yeah, so like she was already kind of in not like a really good spot in her career, but also like pop stars and like celebrities in general, like everyone's careers are like very cyclical, and like this cycle like refreshes every like 2 years. So like for the last like 2 years it's been like Taylor Swift, and like in the next year she's gonna like kind of fade out probably, and then eventually she'll come back in. And like so we hadn't heard from Ariana in a while from her, because like 2018 and 2019 were really big years from her, when we got like Sweetener and Thank You Next, and then Pete Davidson, she toured, whatever, all of that kind of like calmed down. So we haven't heard from her in a while. So we're about to get like a lot more of her, because she's got an album that's coming out, and then Wicked comes out at the end of the year. So this is going to be a big year for Ariana, and she's in really hot water. But what's interesting about her is that like she has a very interesting way of like dealing with scandal and dealing with hate, and that like she really doesn't address it. And when she does, she kind of does it in like this snarky way, and will do it like after the fact. Um, and yeah, she just hasn't really dealt with this level of public scrutiny. I also think that one thing that has kind of shielded her from a lot of blame of like anything, or like one thing that's always kind of like just protected her reputation is that she's been through so much trauma. So in 2016, when there was a terrorist attack at her Dangerous Woman tour, like 25 people died at this concert in Manchester, including children. And that was like really, and that's like still something that she deals with every day. She still writes about it, still puts out music about it because, you know, it's her concert, like it was her fans. And then Mac Miller dying. So that was in September 2018, I believe. And they had been broken up at the time, but like they dated for 5 years and like had only broken up maybe 6 months before that. And he died of an overdose, of like a fatal overdose. And a lot of people blamed her for that because she and Mac Miller were dating for a long time, and like he just had really bad substance abuse issues, and then they broke up. She starts dating Pete Davidson, gets engaged with this like super whirlwind public romance. She's starting to roll out her album, and then Mac Miller passes away suddenly, so people blamed her, like he was in love with you and you should have been there for her, whatever. So Ariana like gets a lot of margin of error, I think, from the public in general. She also has a huge fan base, including me, of people that are like, you know, shielding her. It's like Selena Gomez has lupus and Ariana Grande has those two tragedies. And so I think that a lot of her behavior kind of like gets excused because she's been through some really traumatic things that I would like, I don't know what other pop stars have been through, if anything like that traumatic. So she's got a lot of trauma. But this particular instance with the Ethan thing, like, I don't know how or if she's going to be able to recover from this. I'm seeing, so when Yes and came out like 2 weeks ago, Page Six, which was the tabloid that like really was breaking all the Ethan and Ariana stuff, they started like backtracking, and they put out this article that says no reports say that the Ariana and Ethan's like relationships overlapped. Basically, just kind of like backtracking on a lot of what they were previously reporting, and like, but it's kind of like the damage is already done. And I just don't know how this will be resolved or if her name will be cleared unless Lily, Ethan's ex, like fully speaks out and says like all of this was a lie, like whatever. And I go through comments on Instagram because I have a mental disorder. And anytime there's posts about her, like all the comments are just like this homewrecker, like I'm not streaming this, like not listening to this. And then there's certain people that, like me, except I don't comment because I'm not weird, that are still like on her side and will listen. So my stance is this. I would never not consume the content of someone that I like because of something that they might have done. So I still love her, and I really don't know what happened, and honestly, none of us know what happened, and I don't think anyone ever will know what happened. I think that even if there was a semblance of nefariosity from like either of their parties, I think that Ethan is more responsible for the ending of his marriage because of her, and that like she's been getting a lot of the blame of breaking up a marriage when like he is just like he's more responsible. Like even if she was like flirting with him and like coming on to him, it is his responsibility to remain loyal to his wife. And if he didn't, then that's his problem. And if she was hitting on a married man, then like, okay, he's not my husband. Like, we don't know these people. We do not know these people. And like, going to bat for like a couple that you've never heard of in your life, like Ethan Slater and Lily, like nobody's ever heard of them, and now all of a sudden like you're going to bat for them, like you don't know them. And marriages, something that I've learned, are incredibly complicated, and like you really and truly have no idea what like other people's relationships are like. And I think that like people on the internet and like young people, they like get in these mindsets that like everything's black and white, like you're together or you're not, like you're married or like you're not married, and like that celebrity relationships are similar to like high school relationships, and they're similar to like what your parents do, but like celebrities, they're not just like us, okay? And then one example that I like to point to a lot is last year or maybe 2 years ago. So Adam Levine from Maroon 5, when his DMs got leaked with this like model, and he's married to this Victoria's Secret model, Beate Prinsloo, and she was pregnant. And so like his DMs with her get leaked, and him like basically having an affair, and he got like raked over the coals basically. And I mean, because people are just like, like, you're married and like she's pregnant and all this stuff. And I'm like, every single A-list couple in Hollywood is open. Do people even know that? And then like I did a lot of reading online and just like saying that this just like happens all the time. Like celebrities are not like us. Like celebrity marriages are not like your mom and dad from Ohio. Like they're entirely different. And like I think people just like see that a couple's married and they just automatically equate it to like what they know about marriage and like their values without factoring in that like their lives are just so different from us. So that's why like I don't know if you guys can hear the horns, but like they are honking in agreement with me. Um so I will not like unstan Ariana Grande because like this thing that like we have no idea about what happened. And I would love to know what happened. Like Ariana, if you're listening, like you can tell me and like I won't say anything. Like I would just love to know. But like, and it's also like she didn't murder someone. Like even like if all this did happen, like there are celebrities and famous people who have done like significantly worse illegal things and they still have careers. And I don't know, I just think it's kind of crazy. It also reminds me of the horns are going crazy right now. One of my favorite topics in pop culture to talk about is John Mulaney. So this is something similar too. John Mulaney was like beloved by so many people because of his like very clean cut kind of like it's like stand-up comedy that you can watch with your parents, which is like pretty rare. Um and his bit was always like how much he loved his wife and whatever. They like famously never wanted kids. That was like in their like in his bit is like how he and his wife like didn't want kids and also like that he was sober. And it's always like kind of weird because like and he makes jokes about this too, like how surprising it is when someone that looks like him says that he's sober because he just it's like what could you have possibly done? Which is why it was like so shocking when it came out that he which is why it was so shocking when it came out that he was like severely relapsing and like going through really hard times. So basically, he relapsed on drugs, divorces his wife, and then goes to rehab. And then like 2 weeks after, I think he went to rehab twice. And then maybe like in between the rehab stints, or maybe it was after the second one, he meets Olivia Munn, who's this kind of like C-list actress, very like she would do a lot of like video game stuff or like Comic Con. Like she's definitely like her whole shtick was being like a hot nerd and like, oh my God, her memoir. I didn't read her memoir, but I listened to a podcast that summarizes it. Like it's insane. It was very like it was written like it was written like during the Obama administration. Like times were just like different back then. This is before like people discussed what like a pick me was, but oh my God, if you want like an interesting like I don't know. So he like gets her pregnant, random. Like, and then this was like crazy because this all happened within like 3 months. So then like they're together. And so basically the whole like, story that like people piece together similar to like Ariana's is that like Anna his ex-wife like Anna stayed with him like throughout like his fame and like struggles with sobriety and then he relapses on drugs, knocks up Olivia Munn and then divorces his wife and then now is having a baby with this other woman, leaving Anna Marie like barren and childless because she's like 36. So now people are saying like you wasted her time, like and just like the idea that like he was the one that didn't want kids and then like she missed her window to have kids and now he's like having a baby with someone else. And then people are like canceling John Mulaney. Like people like won't listen to him anymore or they won't support him or anytime he's kind of like going viral or having a moment online, all the comments are like not supporting this like cheater who left his wife and then whatever. So, and that is like, I feel similarly about that. I'm like, well, I still love John Mulaney. Like, he's always been one of my favorite comedians. And why would I not watch his stuff? Because, like, he just came out with a new Netflix special and people are like boycotting it. And I'm like, why would I not watch a Netflix special of one of my favorite comedians because of something that, like, he might have done? And also, it's like kind of sexist to like just paint Anna in this light of like she wanted kids and she didn't because of his career, and then he leaves her and then gets another lady pregnant. She's like depressed. Like, for all we know, like she never wanted kids because like she's an artist. Like, who knows? Like, maybe she just never wanted kids, and like it sounds like that's something that she never wanted, and maybe like she was like, get the fuck out, like when he was on his addiction thing. So I don't know. I just think it's a little odd when people apply these like morals to celebrities and then piece together these stories based on things that they hear online and then like not consume content or like protest the content or try to like cancel people that do support that person because of like something that they might have done. And I just think it like kind of feeds into this like um I don't know, like a storyline. Everyone wants a storyline. Everyone wants drama and a plot and a protagonist and an antagonist, and someone did something wrong and they hurt this person. And it's just, we just don't know. We truly do not know. I think that people are used to hearing way too much about celebrities and knowing too much. And I think it's weird. Okay, let's talk about Taylor and Travis. I want to go on record saying I do love them together and I eat up every piece of content. Like, I truly, anytime there's a new picture of them, a new angle video, like I'm watching, and I do want them to get married and have children immediately. I am interested to see how this year fares for Taylor because she has been the top dog. I want to say for a full year. I feel like because she was obviously so famous, like getting tickets to her tour was impossible, but I don't think anyone would have projected how big of an impact Eras had and just how famous she is. She's so famous right now, but I am concerned that there's going to be something that's going to like cancel her. I don't even know if it is possible to cancel her. She just has so many fans. But I was thinking about this the other night and just wondering, is there going to be something that's going to make her like an Ariana again? Or is there, like, is there going to be something that becomes the thing that people always talk about now? I don't know. I just feel like it's almost like a house of cards when someone's this famous. But I feel like this is the most famous person that I've seen in my lifetime, just this level of fame. But I do think that once this, like the international tour dates ends for Eras, then we're going to be seeing a lot less of her. Hopefully she and Travis settle down together. Like, I love them and I need them to get married. So it'll be interesting to see. So, things to look forward to on LHHQ, literally heinous headquarters, doing a full Oscars episode. So, I'm making good progress and seeing all the Best Picture nominations and all the main noms at the Oscars. Obviously, you guys know that I'm a Barbie fiend, like Barbie fanatic. I've seen Barbie 4 times now. But I will be broadening my horizons and I guess I'll be seeing the other movies. I'm excited. I've seen Anatomy of a Fall so far. That was good. And then I have like 40 minutes left of The Holdovers, which I've been loving, and I'm going to finish after this. So, Oscars episode. And then Duke, one of my best friends from the game show, and the person that I did the We Are Family or the Britney episode with, she's coming to New York for an Ariana Grande episode. So, Ariana's album, Eternal Sunshine, comes out March 8th. Thursday at midnight, so like Friday technically. Duke is flying in that night. We're staying up all night listening to the album and dissecting every lyric, everything. And we're going to do a full episode recapping and reviewing the album so you can understand all the hidden messages and all the lyrics. Duke and I are Ariana Grande historians and experts, so that will not be one that you want to miss. And then just hoping to have some more exciting New York stories. I've definitely been going out a lot more than I should be, probably. I don't know. But haven't had any like crazy nights like with Taylor. But it has just been so much fun going out, been loving New York, and just being here really has been, it's just been fun. Like, it's generally so fun, and it's so much more approachable than I thought it would be. Like, I was so worried, going out in New York, like never gonna get a spot for dinner. Drinks are always gonna be so expensive. Like, it's really what you make of it. Like, I haven't even found it, like, existing here isn't as, like, it's just not as bad as I thought it would be. Like, in terms of money, and spending money, it really hasn't been that bad at all. So I'm excited to keep you guys updated, and thanks for listening.